It's not quite 5:30 in the morning. So what? Oh, hi, Cap. So what makes me crazy enough to get up this early in the morning, go for a run? It's not light out. There's no sun yet. I blame Disney. To be specific, I blame RunDisney, who puts on all these amazing endurance races down at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. That's what gets me up 5-10 a.m. several times a week, plus all these long runs. So right now I'm in training for the Dopey. So I know it's a little early. We're starting this, but I've got a couple races before then and want to be ready for those. And I'm going to use this as a way to keep myself motivated on these early morning runs. Did I mention that the temperature's in the 40s? No? How did I miss that? It's, oh, here comes the sneeze. Ah, spring. When a young man's fancy turns to allergies. Anyway, yeah, it's cold, even though it was up in the 70s yesterday, and I don't know, it might hit 70 today. The early morning runs, they get you. Car, game on. Anyway, if you didn't know what the Dopey was that I mentioned earlier, that's a race at Disney World. It takes place over, it's a race challenge, I should say. It takes place over 4 days. 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon. 4 consecutive days of getting up at a crazy time between 2 and 3 every morning to go do things that other people think that you're crazy for doing. Besides obviously dressing for the temperature and the weather, you also have to be prepared for the time of day that you're running. So on these really early morning runs, I have a headlamp. Right now it's not bad, I'm in the neighborhood, but we have a nice little prairie path up here that I get to run on. And it's nice to see where you're going. So training for this sort of stuff. RunDisney is a great first race for a lot of people. It's very newcomer friendly. And that's what happened with us. My wife and I started running about 6 years ago now. I just love it. I mean, it's the first physical activity kind of exercise that I've enjoyed. It hasn't just been a chore, because it's got a tangible goal to it. Wow, you know what sucks? Running and talking at the same time. So for my training plan, I use something from a man named Jeff Galloway. He is a former Olympian and running guru, and he promotes the run, walk, run method. The theory is that you schedule walk breaks all throughout your run, and that prevents the fatigue from setting in and keeps you from hitting that wall at the end of a race. So it keeps your legs fresh, keeps your mind actively engaged in the race, so that you, as he likes to put it, finish strong with a smile on your face and ready to do your next one. And that's carried us through, we've done, I think 19, my wife and I have done 19 half marathons, 2 full marathons, and a smattering of 10 and 5. All right, I'm halfway through the prairie path, getting ready to turn around and go back the other way. So I talked about dressing for the weather. The rule of thumb when you're racing or running is that you want to dress for 20 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than it is, because you're going to run, you're going to move, your body's going to heat up. The second thing, this is a rule which I'm telling you right now, never trust the weatherman or weatherwoman, weathers person. Wait, because this morning it said like 47 degrees, feels like 43. So I'm like, ooh, 43, that's cold. So I wore this fleece, which was stupid as stupids. There's no wind, there's no wind chill. It said the wind chill was gonna be like 42. No, there's no wind. So I'm just kind of roasting in this thing. Dressed for the weather that is, not for the weather the weatherman saith. I think that's a famous saying. I'm back from the prairie path. So, great morning run. It's part of the Galloway plan to get ready for these races. You do 2 shorter runs during the week, usually Tuesday and Thursday. So 30 to 45 minutes. And then the weekends are the time for your long run, which starts off small. It could be a mile the first time you get ready to go out. The whole idea behind these training plans is that you start off small and you build up each week a little bit more. I mean, I still remember the first time I ran 4 miles for a long run. It's amazing. It's kind of cool how those milestones stick with you. And I really didn't think how weird it would be walking around recording myself while walking. It's like, good God, I'm glad I'm out here and it's dark out so that people can't see me doing this. The idea is you do 2 kind of shorter runs during the week, and then each weekend, every other weekend actually, you build up your mileage. So you kind of have a long weekend, and then you'll do like 4 miles, and then you'll do the next week you'll have your off week, so you go back down to 3. Then you'll build it up and you'll do 5, and then you go back down to 3. Then you'll be doing 7, and each week you build on that base. Long runs so that when the time comes, you're ready. You're finishing that race. You are crossing the finish line with a smile on your face and ready to do more. And that's definitely true for me and my wife. We finish these things and we're like, can we sign up for next year? As I do more of these, I'll get into more detail about things like how to handle races. I'll talk about RunDisney and why I like that so much. I'll talk more about Jeff Galloway training plans, why I like those, because there are lots of other training plans out there. I think the most important thing, though, is if you're going to tackle this as someone who wasn't active before, find a good plan and stick with it. Kind of resist the temptation in the beginning to create your own Frankenstein plan and just go with what the experts say and stick with it. It doesn't matter as much which one you pick as it does to stick with it.